I pulled the fuel pump off of the Weasel engine, and like in a previous video, I purchased this spare. So we're going to rehab this fuel pump. I have a kit out of view. Let's see if we can bring it in right there. Yes. Unique feature about the M29 Weasel is that it has a direct primer injection, and that's what this fitting is for. It's a 1/8 inch copper tube, and it runs to each of the 3 intake ports on the 6-cylinder engine, and there's a wobble pump that maybe I'll do a video on that. It's just it's a vacuum pump that's hand actuated. You pull the knob out and push it in, and it's up on the dash of the machine. So it pulls fuel directly from the fuel supply and injects it directly into the engine for cold starts. So this is a unique fitting I need to save. It's pretty dirty, but not bad overall. And we can see that even these screws have lock washers on them. Whoa. I'm going to need a tighter or a thinner blade screwdriver. Okay, I'll be right back. Down to the last screw. These are considerably shorter, these on the top. Ooh, listen to this. That's crispy. And here we have the 6 valves down inside. In relation to the way this mounts on the engine, I have to remember that the inlet is on this side, and these 3 valves point down, and the outlet is on the front side. Looking at the other one in relation, yeah, it's supposed to be, the inlet and outlet are supposed to be clocked at, I would say, 2 and 8. So I have to remember to put the outlet valves with the brass buttons up. This is a good thing about having a video is that if I forget, which I do from time to time, I can refer back to the video. We were doing one of these when I was volunteering at Fort MacArthur Museum in San Pedro for GMC 6x6. It has a different actuating lever. It's not quite this short, it's longer, and yeah, we got the valves all mixed up because we didn't know how to do it at that time, and I had to figure it out. It was pretty funny and fun at the same time. So let me break the bottom, or let me see if I can break the base off. There is a gasket there. Alright, we're going to need a little tappy tap tap. There it is. This is where the diaphragm is. Boy, she's stuck together good. There we go. Pretty awesome. Not too difficult to figure out. Now this feels like machined steel, but it's that pot metal again. So it's, you know, this is just the same basic principle as the 2-valve. Very simple, very effective. Let's see if I can get the diaphragm off. That may be a little more difficult to achieve. I've never gone this far with one of these, but like I said, it's same principle. I should be able to get it. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, I pulled the fulcrum pin out, and there we go. That wasn't so hard. Same basic design as the 2-valve, but oh boy. Much better construction. There's a bushing that goes through the 2 arms, and then some nice heavy washers on either side. That's that's gonna be fun to put back together. Anyway, no big deal. It'll just take a little finesse, that's all. Alright, so looks like there's even an oil seal in this one. Yeah, wow. AC Delco. How about that? Yeah? The underside of this diaphragm is really clean. It's oil free, so that is an oil seal right there. That's going to be fun to get out of there. Alright, I'm going to clean everything up. That'll take some time, and also be boring to watch, so we'll be back later. I wanted to show this top piece of rubber coming off the top plate. That's funny. That is crispy. Here's the replacement inside. This one is real nice and supple. Can't wait. So that's going to go in the trash can. I've removed the 4 small screws that hold this little hold down clip in place, and I'm going to punch these 3 valves out of here by going from the top down. Well, I'll use this pin. Oh, hot dog. Excellent. They just slipped right out. Looks like there's a tiny gasket in there. Oh, oh, look at that. There is. Let me look in the spare parts. Looks like there are replacements in there. This is pretty crusty down in there, so that's going to need to be sandblasted out. So I'm going to throw these away. They didn't come apart. Maybe I'll just set them aside. I'll take the other side apart here. Those came out really well. See if there's that gasket in there. Probably gonna kill it. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So I have the base of the 6-valve fuel pump cleaned up very nicely. As we know, all of the actuator parts are splash oiled by the inside of the engine, and I've discovered something that I didn't know before. This is an oil seal, and the oil seal lip on these old seals are leather. Well, that's good for going around and around and around something, but not when the shaft of the diaphragm is just going up and down like that. Rubber is much better for that. And the reason we want to keep oil out from under here is because the oil will eventually rot the rubber. So what the manufacturer has done is they have included a neoprene rubber gasket that the plunger will go through. And there is a little ring that the new gasket goes into, and then everything just gets bumped together that way, and then we have an isolated circuit. Also, if the diaphragm tears and gasoline goes down into the bowl, there are a couple of weep holes here, and at looking at these, they do not go into where the actuating levers are. Inside here, this little triangular area, that's where the weep holes go, so the gas will flow out of the pump. So I'm going to install this seal here. And you know what, I looked at the kit for the 2-valve pump, and it also has the same. So I've rebuilt many of those. I've just never seen I've never seen a rebuild kit so complete that it had these little gaskets. So again, looking for a socket. Perfect. That will fit that. And the ball peen hammer for a little tappy tap tap. There we have it. I don't want to go too deep. I don't want to tear that rubber seal. So maybe I can leave. Yes. So here's who I bought this fuel pump rebuild kit from. And if anybody needs one, you can pause it here and write down their information. And then email information is here. And it's a really quality kit. I talked to the guy that actually makes them, and he said they make all the parts there in-house. So it's, you know, for $79, how much did I pay for this? $59 plus $12. I don't know what that was for, but this actual fuel pump part number may be faint. That's the part number, the FPK, or sorry, FPA 182. So that'll give you some information if anybody needs that. That way you don't have to try and spend $120, $180, $250 on an NOS fuel pump that you're going to have to replace the diaphragm in anyway. So that's good. Alright, so the priming lever was broken, and I just welded it back together here. We can see all the pitting. That rust pitting is pretty deep. When I found this in the bilge underneath the engine, this side was laying flat on the bottom, and we can see the top side isn't so pitted. That's from all the rust, but that works pretty good. I don't believe it's going to break off of there again. If it does, then it breaks off. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Well, for me, I found a pretty good way to clean up some parts that have a lot of corrosion on them. Like that. That works really well. Let's see about the underside. Oh, I like that. I used to work at a jewelry shop when I was 16 in high school, jewelry store in Glendale, and Mrs. Denton would get gold leaf and apply it to certain things, and then she would burnish it with the special, I don't know what it was made of, but it would look like a little felt bulb. And she would just apply it by dabbing and then turn it, and that was called burnishing. And we can see there's a burnished pattern underneath the top cap. So nobody will ever see it, but it's clean. I may have gone a little overboard in cleaning the main valve body. But fuel is going to be resting in this area here, and the little pockets down inside had stuff in them, so I sandblasted everything and washed it in gasoline and blew everything out. You know, no sense in tearing up a brand new rebuild kit. Do it right the first time and it won't fail. Alright, so let's reassemble the bottom end. I thought I was going to have a problem with the original dowel pin. It just had a washer, and then you take a punch, a flat punch, and a hammer and mushroom or swage the end. But this rebuild kit comes with some really tiny circlips. Let's see if we can see one. Maybe you can see that on the paper right next to my thumb. And that's a good thing, having that option. So I had the new seal in. You saw me put that in. So now we're going to, oh, they also included three size bushings, and the one I have in my left hand is the original, and I'm going to use a new one. So this will be a little fiddly. So our bushing goes in. I know it would help hold everything together very nicely. A little dab of bearing grease. That'll be good to help start up lubrication. Look at that. I'm slow, but I get there. Everything's staying together. So again, hook end down, goes in, okay. And now tappy. Tap, tap. Look at that, it fell right through. Major success. Circlip on the end. Oh, I can see those circlips going away and that pin walking out. And then trying to get this thing off down inside the bilge of the Weasel. Now I'm going to use the original return spring because it was a lot stronger than the other two. Hopefully it won't fly out of here while I'm trying to install it into the little place where fiddly bits go when they don't want to be reinstalled. I just cut all my there we go. Yeah, I just cut all my fingernails. Nice. Alright, and I did not get a new spring for the diaphragm, but this one's in really good shape. It's clean. So I'm going to reuse it, and this will be fun. I've put a little bit of Marvel's oil on the center shaft. Yeah, all right. This is going to take probably 5 hours of blind play, so I'll be back. Gotcha. All right, so I learned something. This pin that the priming lever is on has a notch in it to help hold the priming lever down. And I had the priming lever up, which made the arm and hook that, let me get the other diaphragm, the other arm and hook that goes into that little slot, that caused it to not flop forward far enough. So, you know, if you've never done something, figure it out and play with it till it teaches you what it wants to do. Now watch the diaphragm, and that's what we want. Okay, that's back together. I think what I'm going to do is find some washers, because there's enough room on this pin for a couple of washers, and I'm probably going to change out these little rolled circlips, C-clips, whatever you want to call them. Okay, so when I was cleaning the main body up, it's really hard to see, but down here it says in. So you can't mess this up. Oh, I gotta change batteries. Be right back. In. The button of the valve here points down. Button on the output points up. Our little spring steel hold downs are installed. long time ago I saw this show on A&E, and it was from England. And I can see the guy's face in my mind, but I don't remember his name. He had curly brown hair, and they had this Jaguar disassembled for restoration. And he got to the point where everything was cleaned and ready to be put back together. And he said, now all I have to do is put all these fiddly bits back together. And I don't have a very good British accent, but these little things definitely are fiddly. So that's back together. These little screws are tiny. They're like 632 thread. So I don't want to over tighten them because they will strip. That's back together. So this is the inlet. This is the inlet, and as the diaphragm goes up and down, it creates a vacuum. Fuel is drawn in through here and drawn in, goes down through here and then back up through here and out. And both of them create a pretty good vacuum. Now, this top isn't that fibrous material. This is some kind of, well, it's neoprene rubber. So I will install this. I have all my screws cleaned with some small lock washers. I really should have the camera over on my left side. So that you guys can see me. Turn the screws in. No matter. Nice. So in relation to the way the engine or the fuel pump is installed on the engine, the crank would be right along here. The right side of the engine block would be here. Here is in. And we remember from earlier in the video that it was the inlet was at 2 p.m. and the outlet was just about at 8 p.m. clockwise. So we shall start installing screws. Yep, it's nice. Two more, one more. All right. Just snug these down. You don't really have to go in a skip a screw pattern, but I'm going to do it anyway. Alright, now just to snug everything. And there we have it. Listen to that. I have it correct. Nice. Yep. There it is. One 6-valve AC Delco fuel pump for the M29 Weasel, rebuilt. That's exciting. It's little things in life that make it worth living sometimes. I don't believe it won't fit in either bag of these, so I will have to put it in a larger bag. But that's it. Oh, I gotta clean these 2 bolts. Well, thanks for watching. Happy New Year, everybody. And we'll see you next time. And if you got something to do, get out there and do it. It isn't gonna get done on its own. Later.